Hi, this is Beth Leaders, journalist. I am here today with Bonnie Yost. Bonnie is an incredible physical therapist. She's also the founder of her own amazing company called 4x4Healing. Bonnie is I'm going to share a little bit with her. This is her book. We're going to talk more about that. So first of all, Bonnie, I want to say welcome.
Thank you. It's so great to be here and see you.
I know. I've been reading your book and learning all about you. But let's tell people just a little bit. Let's find out a little about your background. And tell me, how did you even get into physical therapy? Because you have to have some good brains to be a physical therapist. You have to study a lot of things. So tell me a little bit about you personally. How did you get started?
Well, I started always enjoyed athletics, was a gymnast, and so blew out my knee when I was 16, and I did go in for physical therapy, but I didn't even remember that. Didn't have a really good experience with that, which was interesting. But before that, I wanted to be a vet. I like the horses.
Oh yes, all little girls like horses, right?
Yes, and so started out with Western Pleasure and enjoyed trail, did a lot of hunter-jumper work, but I didn't want my vet and my joy to be hampered or combined with work. So I met with a counselor in high school who mentioned physical therapy and said that it was a specialist in nerve and muscle and bone, and was very active, and I thought, that's what I'd like to do. And a doctor, I was going to be a physician as well, but with that time and the demand on family and schedule, the physical therapy turned out to be perfect for me. So.
That's great. So tell me a little bit about your experience with physical therapy and the name of your company, 4x4Healing. That's the number 4, right, and an X and the number 4. Tell me how you got into that and why you named it 4x4.
Yeah. And when I started thinking about the essence of what I do, it is 4x4. I need to look at and address and help heal the body, the mind, the spirit, and the emotions, the heart. So with that, there's also 4 elements that I like to incorporate, and there are 4 E's. Education, examination, or exploring, I think is a better word, equipping, and then empowering. So the 4 is the body, mind, heart, which is your emotions, and your spirit, which is your value system and beliefs, and then the 4 E's, education, exploring, equipping, and empowering.
Wow.
And the 4x4 is great because it does have an active or demand connotation, and it also is very complete.
So Bonnie, a lot of us, and including me, I've been in physical therapy on and off over the years, had some different car accidents. Let me say I was never the one at fault for those, but they definitely mess up your spine in many ways. So my question is, how is your 4x4Healing, how is it different from other types of physical therapy or modalities out there? Tell me a little bit more as you work with people.
I have had the benefit and blessing of being able to not be pushed too much for the compensation and the productivity, but can really focus on the patient. With that in mind, I am able to look at your specific need and your specific situation. I can incorporate questions about your fear, apprehension, the concerns that you had about your pain, when it will end, how long it will last, how is it going to affect my life. So those aspects can be incorporated into your physical correction and healing. And that's really important, because if we address only the physical and get rid of the pain, but the fear and the apprehension and the tension and the hypervigilance continues, then you're going to be back in to see somebody for something pretty soon.
Somebody for something. I mean, because some people, it's years. They keep going around. So tell us a little bit about, in your book, which is amazing, the Heart of Healing. Tell us about some of the people in this book that you feel stand out, that you've really helped, and maybe share some of the stories. I want to hear some of those examples.
Okay. Well, we'll use their names because I haven't received permission from them. But one of them that stands out from fairly recently was when I was working in Hawaii. I was able to see a variety of patients, And there were also similar cases here in the United States. One patient that I met was an elderly lady we'll call Angela. Okay. And she came in and she had a fractured femoral plateau. So ouch. Right in her knee. The knee. Yes. And she had been in a wheelchair for like 5 years. So she's in her 90s, and she had been in the wheelchair, and she then fractured her tibial plateau. She wanted to walk. I asked her, I said, what would you like to get out of your physical therapy? And she says, I want to walk. I said, okay, I hear that, but it's going to take some work. Are you willing to put in the effort to accomplish this goal? She had a really great family support system, which was wonderful as well. It's important. The good news was, and it was interesting, the physicians, the people around her said, no, it's not going to happen. She's not going to be able to. But she was determined, and I was going to encourage her in that. And as I was able to do that, within 3 months, she not only was able to stand from her wheelchair, but to walk with a cane. And by the time we were finished with physical therapy, which was 3.5 to 4 months, she was able to carry her tray for her next 90th plus birthday. Awesome. Down and take her tray without any assistive device. Wow. And walk. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. Another one was a person who had abuse as a child and had been told again that she couldn't do a lot of things. She decided that she wanted to not settle anymore for the limitation, the pain, the exhausting hypervigilance and feeling unsafe that she had been feeling for the decades that she had. We'll call her Diane. And she decided to go ahead and get the physical needs that she had met, back pain, ankle balance issues. But we also then talked about her history and her fears and how the lies of her life and the abuse, the wounds in her deep heart had affected her in experiencing safety, safe touch, respect, empowerment, and equipping. She was able to see that her life could change. And she ended up, well, one person like this ended up going ahead and becoming a therapist and helping others. And another one who had a similar background decided to become a massage therapist and really could identify and help people beyond just the physical, which was fabulous to see. Yeah. So, Bonnie, I'm curious, before we maybe talk about another example, do people really, I mean, that's part of what you're saying. It sounds like it's not just the physical, because your 4x4 is, you're talking the heart. Okay, is that the emotions? Okay, the heart is the emotions, and then the mind, obviously. How you think and how you choose your decision making. And then the last one is the spirit, is that right? Okay, and that's the spiritual side of the component? I'm going to define that it is a spiritual side, it's your faith and your trust, but the trust is based on your belief system, your value system, your moral, moral compass, all of those things that build your belief and your foundation for your choices. So you're taking the whole gamut there. I mean, like what they call a whole person or whole body. I mean, because other therapists, and I really adore a lot of physical therapists I have, but we didn't really get into these other areas of life. It's mainly, you clock in, you do your exercises, and you go, I don't want to do that, and scream, and this hurts me. But you're getting better with that, but never really addressing that other side. So yes, don't forget, it's not pain and torture, it's patient-teacher. Okay, or some would call it physical torture. Yeah, pain and torture. Yeah, I know you said it. Yeah. Okay. So we call it pain and, what did you say? It's patient-teacher. I like that. Physical therapy is a patient-teacher. I like that. That's good. How did you get to all this? You're working the physical side, but it sounds like you've got a lot of experience in bringing in to help people. So keep going, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's okay. Right after I became a therapist, I mean, God has gifted me, so it's not me, okay? But God has gifted me with insights and abilities to go to the cause, not just the symptoms, which is nice. Because I don't want people going into a revolving door of medical treatment. Yeah. So we want to get to the cause. So we want to get to the cause. So, but with that, early in my career, I found that many of the people that I worked with had non-physical origins or contributors to their physical pain. So I connected with very efficient and effective counselors who could do the neuro and the psych services, and I was able to work in concert with those professionals, with the patient, and we saw how fast the physical experience plus the emotional care could help a patient and keep them. Yeah.
When you're saying fast, are we talking, that's one of my questions I have for you, is this a process that sounds like it moves along quicker than, like, say, 6 months of physical therapy or something? It sounds like for you that but I'm sure it varies with the patient.
Well,
give me an idea when you say fast. I mean,
and for me, I don't take insurance because the billing system is, I won't live long enough to receive the money. So the people who come to me are truly sick and tired of being sick and tired. They want to see improvement. So with that, my fees are very effective because the people will do what I've asked them to do, and we can work on a very individual basis through. So 3 visits, we get a good start. It depends on the problem, it depends on the severity, but usually within 3 visits we have a good road. Okay? And when we're dealing with all 4, body, mind, spirit, and emotions, we usually can get a pretty good home program, independent care going within 12 visits. And consistency, of course, is important. But generally speaking, that's what I've seen. Usually within 12 visits, we've got a pretty good... and then they can come back for
it sounds like a good road, for the rest of their life, to get out of pain, to get out of the frustration. Like you said, people are tired of being sick. They're sick and tired of being sick.
And then by that time also, we have had a chance to see how God and our examination has clarified what are the issues and where can we go from here. So there's lots of options. They want to go to somebody else and get some additional, that's cool.
Well, let me just take a second to make sure if somebody's just joining us. I'm journalist Beth Leaders, and I'm here talking today with Bonnie Yost. Bonnie is an incredible physical therapist. She's the founder of 4x4Healing. She has this great book. You can kind of see it pictured right here, The Heart of Healing, also her book in hand here. Amazing stories, practical helps. What are some other benefits also that come, I know, from your book or just working with you? What are some other things that people can learn?
I think one of the things that really touches me about the way that I have treated patients is not only the efficiency and the long-lasting benefits, so time-wise it's efficient, but also it's long-lasting, but it's the fact that it goes from your head, it really does integrate into your heart and into your life. Experience is critical because I can tell you about my problems and I can say that this is what the problems are, and you can affirm me and we can say, yep, that's what it is, and then I go right back to the same old habits, thinking, choices, life, company that I came out of.
And that
cycle. And then I come back and I have to tell you, I still have these problems. So
and that keeps some people from even wanting to try again, right?
Exactly.
Because they just feel so frustrated.
And people have gone years and years trying to find solutions. So again, asking a few pertinent questions and identifying these things is important. And to me, the experience really settles and cements the learning.
Excellent. You know, I have a quote here. I'm just going to read it. It said, "It's been said of you, Bonnie, that, quote, you have a reputation for achieving comprehensive healing in challenging cases." And I think what you're saying here, you're really summing that up, the fact that, you know, comprehensive healing in challenging cases, because I'm sure some people, by the time they may get to you with your experience in that it can be a challenge, but you've seen probably most everything, I think, by this, you know, time in your career.
Over 40 years, and what's interesting is that when it can be scary. When you have been through a revolving door of medical treatment and comorbidities and morbidities and treatments that have failed, it becomes scary to try again. And when people are willing to come and try and just get a free consultation and just see if we can make some headway, my heart just wants people not to settle. Don't settle for the injuries and the limitations and the lies and the wounds and the pain that maybe you can get out of. There's a pretty good chance that that's a possibility. Let's give it a shot.
Yes, and we're going to talk about this right now. You mentioned the free consultation. We'll talk a little bit more about when we're on the closing up here in a few minutes. Free consultation with you, amazing. I mean, people can just go online with you, right?
Yes.
Or they can meet with you in person.
Right.
And that's, I mean, and we find that where? We find it on your website, right? 4x4Healing.com, and that's the number 4. See if it's on here. No, it's the number 4, an X and 4, by healing.com. And so you go down a little farther on your homepage, and there we'll find it, Meet with Bonnie session, right? And so that's what Bonnie's offering to anybody out there that's listening today to say, go on our website, get to that Meet with Bonnie. It's a free consultation, and it's a half hour, right? 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and it's free. I mean, how can you, I mean, seriously, go there right now. Right. I know we want you to keep listening, but as soon as this is over, go to our website. Right. And then also what you're giving away is today, especially when people are listening, is once they go to and get that free consultation, if they become a patient of yours, they're going to, what else are they going to get?
Well, they'll receive a book. So if you're online around the world, or the weather's bad, or you're not feeling like you want to go out of the house, we can do online. And if you become a patient, a new patient, you will get the book.
Awesome.
And for the first 5 people who sign up and become patients, I will give you also a free 30 minutes of treatment.
Wow.
So once we go through all that paperwork, because we have to do that, and you become a patient, I will also give the first 5
new patients.
The
first 5 new patients are going to then get an extra 30 minutes with you. Well, I think I might be one of those, but I don't want to take it away from everybody out there. So let me ask you this quick, Bonnie. You were talking about the importance of, it's the whole body, the whole mind, and we were talking a little bit more of some benefits. I have written down here, I think, gosh, there's some amazing things. You're going to eliminate and prevent common physical pain and problems, replace fearful, limited, existence, and then find a voice, control of your own health care. Is there anything else that you'd like to share as far as what people are going to come away with when they meet with you?
Well, one of the things on my heart is joy. There is so much fear. There is so much intimidation.
I hate to interrupt you, but when you're in pain, that really takes, I've been there.
It destroys your joy.
Oh, man. Yes, and that's my middle name, by the way.
Is it joy? Yeah. Wonderful. So my heart is, again, freedom and joy. When you are in pain, when you are under this survival from past history, from past wounds, from lies, from denial, all of those things can limit your joy, your freedom, your full potential. And maybe we won't reach that full potential in this life, but we have to move toward it. And what joy and fulfillment and purpose you can receive if you'll just take a step of faith and see what can be done, and don't settle. So yes, joy is one of the
Okay, so we're going to sum this up here, Bonnie. We're going to have people meet with you, going to go to her website, 4x4Healing. You'll see her on her Facebook page. You also then are going to give us a free copy once we go ahead and get that consultation.
In person, or I'll mail it, yes.
In person, and she'll mail it to you. In case you're doing the online sessions with her, but I think even going and meeting with Bonnie in person, you'll just feel her energy like I'm feeling right here. And then you said there's an additional for those patients who actually, the first 5 who sign up with her and become a new patient, as she does an evaluation and gets in and really helps set you free from a lot of pain and frustration, they'll get
the book. And an extra 30 minutes.
An extra 30 minutes with Bonnie. That's incredible, Bonnie. We love that. Is there anything else you can think of that you would just like to share today? I know we've kind of talked this through, but you've got so many insights. You've got so many years of experience. I'm thinking, where were you, Bonnie, years ago when I needed you after my first or second car accident? So can we do a little quick demonstration of something like?
Let's go for it.
Okay, all right. So Bonnie, tell me, what can we do to, I get a lot of tension back here in this nodule in the neck. What can we share with other people, especially when we're working on the computer a lot, we're not sitting at, mom can hear that distant in the background, sit up straight, sit up straight. So tell me, show me what we can do.
Okay. You were kind enough to mention that a little bit earlier, so I did get a little bit of history about this, and you've had more than one whiplash, is that correct?
I've had 3 whiplashes, yeah.
From different directions.
From front, the side, and the back, yes. So,
and it just seems like it's just the right side that you're having a little bit of trouble.
Still stays with me after 7 years.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that I noticed with you when I was talking online is that to relieve your tension, you would raise your shoulders and you would come back like that.
And stretch, okay.
Yes.
Not,
Except, is that stretching?
am I supposed to do that?
That's not stretching, that's compressing.
Oh,
Okay.
doing it all wrong.
So, and that, it's a common, you're not alone. It's
Okay.
A lot of people think that they're stretching when they're really actually not stretching. They
Okay.
either have a weakness there that is making them feel like something is tight, or they are actually taking off the tension, which will make them feel better. Now, you've had a whiplash, you've had an injury. So instead of pushing your head back and making all of these tiny little muscles in back squished,
Yeah.
which also compromises the vessels and the nerves.
It does the opposite of what we're trying to do.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. So it's making everything shorter and tighter.
Okay.
So instead of doing that, put some pressure on that right side where you're feeling
Okay.
that. Tuck your chin. Now that's not bending forward. It's
Just
really
tuck it in.
actually
Yeah.
pulling it back, dropping your shoulder. So yeah, tuck your chin. So pull back. Drop your shoulder as you do the same thing. Don't forget to breathe. Everybody forgets to breathe.
Now, am I going to tap dance too, or shoot go? Because I'm not going to make
Not
that. No,
quite.
this is okay. This is good.
Okay,
That's
so
practical.
find the little spot.
Yeah, got it.
Tuck your chin
Tuck
so
my
that you
chin.
feel a little stretch back there.
Mhm.
Now
Yeah.
there's a stretch. Okay, now drop
Yeah.
your shoulder.
This shoulder.
Yes,
Yeah.
you keep it. And what you're going to do is you're going to do little yeses.
Oh, little
Tiny,
yeses. Okay.
Like 15 degrees. Little
Okay.
yes, less.
Yep, I can feel
Okay, now
that.
don't move your shoulders. You're just going to move your knees. There
Okay,
you go.
there we go.
Good. And then you do little nose.
A little now.
And you can put a little bit of pressure in there. Now move
So that really centers in on that muscles.
right,
back
and
there.
then move toward the side that bothers you. So when you do your little nose,
Okay.
just keep moving a little bit further.
Okay.
And you
I can
put
feel
pressure-
that, yeah.
Put the pressure in. You can get it from the other side.
And how many do I do, Bonnie, and how often?
It's like having a baby with you. When it talks to you, take care of it.
Oh,
Okay?
I love that. Like having a baby with you. It talks to me. It's like a barking dog too, because I
Barking dog.
have a puppy right now, and she gets a little annoying.
Right.
So okay, take care of it.
But this one won't
Okay.
bark unnecessarily. This one, when this one barks,
Yeah.
do take care of it.
That's good.
And
that's
then
very
posture
practical.
is
Posture,
very important.
yes.
So alignment.
Alignment.
Okay.
Good said, as the mom say. Okay, awesome. Well, Bonnie, thank you. You have been fantastic today. For everyone out there, I want you right now, you have our permission to go to her website, 4x4Healing, that's the number 4, an X and 4, healing.com. Go down and say, get the session that says free consultation, meet with Bonnie. She will then end up giving you, when you have that consultation with her, you'll get a free copy of her book.
Not the consultation, when you become a patient.
That's right, thank you. It's like, yes, once you go on that, you get the free consultation, 30 minutes free.
Anybody.
You then go from there, become a patient, and you will get a free copy of her book. She'll send that to you or hand it to you right when you meet. And then for the first 5 people who go ahead and become a patient with her, she will give you
An extra half hour
an
of care.
extra 30 minutes of free
Okay.
care. That is amazing, Bonnie. Well, I thank you for taking time today. I know everyone out there watching and listening, you've got to be excited to start your life with a new path, right? And getting out of this.
It's new joy, new freedom, new fullness, new purpose. Yes.
Yes,
New
all
energy.
that.
Yeah. New function.
And you've got a lot of energy, and I appreciate that. It'll keep me going. And thank you for this. If you're helping me with that, I can imagine what a 30-minute session with you and beyond can do. So thank you so much. Again, this is Bonnie Yost, 4x4Healing. Go to 4x4Healing.com. Thank you so much, and a healthy, continued healing and joy to you all as you meet with Bonnie. Thank you.